Medic Mind. Motivate, mentor, maximize.
On to the next pattern now. Some A are B and all B are C. Now, look at the Venn diagram and you can see that there is overlap between A and B, and since all B are C, there is also overlap between A and C. So what can be deduced? First, let's look at A and B, the most simplest pattern. We can tell that some A will be B, and by that same logic, some B will be A. We know that all B are C. If all B are C, we know that all B will be C, some B are C, and some C are B. Between A and C, right here, there is overlap between A and C because we know that some A will be C and some C will be A. Some shoes are slippers and all slippers are footwear. Now, if some shoes are slippers, we know that, again, some slippers will be shoes. If all slippers are footwear, a statement which reads some slippers are footwear will be correct, and a statement that reads some footwear are slippers will also be correct. The more complicated relationship comes between shoes and footwear. If all slippers are footwear, by that logic, some shoes will be footwear. And if some shoes are footwear, some footwear will also be shoes. Take a moment to look at this one because it's probably one of the most difficult patterns we have come across so far. Pattern 8 now. All A are B and some B are C. Between A and B, we know that all A are B, some A are B, and some B will be A. Now this is a pattern we've seen regularly now between when all X are Y. As soon as you see all X are Y, this should come straight into your head. All A are B, some A are B, and some B are A. We've also seen a pattern regularly between B and C that's shown here. Some B are C. Now, if some B are C, we know that some C will also be B. However, now you need to be a bit more careful. Whilst all A are B, it does not necessarily mean there is a relationship between A and C. Think of it this way. There are 100 units of B. Of those 100 units of B, there are 5 which are A, right? All A are B, but that does not necessarily mean that all B are A. If 4 units of the 100 B are A, there are 96 units which are not A. And although there is a relationship between B and C, we don't know for sure that there is a relationship between A and C, simply because it could be one of those 96 units of B that are not related to A. Therefore, we cannot assume for sure that there is a relationship between A and C, as we've talked about before. An example, all mobiles are gadgets and some gadgets are portables. Between mobiles and gadgets, now this is a very straightforward relationship. All mobiles are gadgets, some mobiles are gadgets, and by the same logic, some gadgets are mobiles. Between gadgets and portables, again, a relationship we've seen very often now. Some gadgets are portables, and so some portables will be gadgets. Between mobiles and portables, there is an unknown relationship because, let's look at this diagram. This will help us understand what I was trying to say before a lot more clearly. All mobiles are gadgets, but remember there are so many other types of gadgets. There are iPods, there are headphones, that sort of thing. Now, how do you know for sure that we know that some gadgets are portable, but we don't know from that information that mobiles and portables have a relationship. We know in real life, yes, there can be portable mobiles, but from the statement, this can't be deduced at all. The next pattern now, all B are A and all C are A. So what can be deduced here? We know that B and C are two separate entities in the bubble of A. We can only find that out once we've drawn the Venn diagram, and again it becomes a lot more easy. Between A and B, this is very, very simple now. We know all B are A, we know that some B are A, and we know that some A are also B. Between A and C, the same applies. We know that all C are A, meaning some C are A and some A are C. B and C are separate entities as shown in the Venn diagram, therefore there is an unknown relationship here. This should be really easy now. So between trucks and cars, we know that all cars are trucks, some trucks are cars, and some cars are trucks. Between trucks and lorries, we know that all lorries are trucks, Some lorries are trucks and some trucks are lorries. Between cars and lorries, there is an unknown relationship. Pattern 11. All A are B and no B is C. So here, A is enclosed within B, and the whole AB circle is separate to C. So the relationship between A and B is as normal. All A are B, some A are B, and some B are A. Between B and C, we know that no B are C, no C will be B. Some B are not C, and some C are not B. If you see any of these statements in a UKCAT question, straight away, it should be very, very clear. If no X are Y, it means no X are Y, no Y are X, some X are not Y, and some Y are not X. Straight away, this should not take you any time at all to answer that sort of question. Between A and C, now, because all A are B and there is no relationship between B and C, automatically the same relationship applies between A and C as between B and C. No A are C, no C are A, some A are not C, and some C are not A. All symphonies are trumpets and no trumpets are clarinets. So what is the relationship between symphonies and trumpets? As always, all symphonies are trumpets, some symphonies are trumpets, and some trumpets are symphonies. No trumpets are clarinets. This means no trumpets are clarinets, no clarinets are trumpets, some clarinets are not trumpets, and some trumpets are not clarinets. Between symphonies and clarinets, no symphonies are clarinets, no clarinets are symphonies, some symphonies are not clarinets, and some clarinets are not symphonies. The next pattern now. All A are B and no A are C. Very similar to one we've seen before. So B is enclosed in A and there's no relationship between A and C. Between A and B, all A are B, some A are B, and some B are A. Between A and C, no A are C, no C are A, some A are not C, and some C are not A. Between B and C. This is different now. Before, we had no B or C, but here, no A or C. Just because no A or C, it does not rule out the possibility that there is a relationship between B and C. But we do know for sure that some B are not C. Why is that? Well, remember, some B, all A are B, right? So of the 100, imagine there are 100 Bs. 4 of those Bs are As. Now, if you ask me, is there a relationship between B and C? I can say yes. Some B are not C because of those 100 Bs that are A, as I said, four of those Bs are A's. Those 4 are not C. So we can say some B are not C. A small percentage of Bs are not C. All cherries are pencils and no cherries are pillows. Between cherries and pencils, all cherries are pencils, some cherries are pencils, and some pencils are cherries. Between cherries and pillows, we know that no cherries are pillows, no pillows are cherries, some cherries are not pillows, and some pillows are not cherries. Between pencils and pillows, some pencils are not pillows because some of those pencils will be cherries. Some A are B and no B are C. In this relationship, we see two statements that we are very, very similar to. So the relationship between A and B and C should be very straightforward, as seen here. Between A and B, some A are B, some B are A. Between B and C, no B are C, no C are B, some B are not C, and some C are not B. Now, the relationship between A and C. Some A are not C. So why is that? Very similar to the reason I just gave before. But instead, now look at it from A's perspective. In this diagram, we know that some A are B. By the same logic, some B will be A. If there are 100 units of A, 6 or 7 might be B. If you ask me, is there a relation between A and C, I can say for sure that of those 100 units of A, the 6 to 7 that are B will not be related to C, meaning some A are not C. An example, some psychology students are graduates and no graduates are mathematicians. Between psychology students and graduates, we see the normal some psychology students are graduates and some graduates are psychology students. Between graduates and mathematicians, we see no graduates are mathematicians, no mathematicians are graduates, some graduates are not mathematicians, and some mathematicians are not graduates. Between psychology students and mathematicians, we know that some psychology students are not mathematicians. Now, those are the different relationships that you'll see. I mean, that's a lot of information that you've just had to take in. So I advise you to watch the video again, pause it, try and do the examples without looking at the answers, and yeah, eventually you should be very, very comfortable with syllogisms. These are just some shortcuts I've come up with to help you answer the questions. If you see no x or no y, there's no relationship at all. If you see all x or all y, again, they should all be connected. If you see all x and some y, there is no immediate conclusion. This means that straight away you can't tell for sure that there is an answer. You may need to draw a Venn diagram. There is some x plus all y. There will be some relationship. So again, worth drawing a Venn diagram there. Some x and no y. Some are not related, but again, we don't know for sure. But if you see some x and some y, you know that there is no immediate conclusion. But further investigation with a Venn diagram should help you. Thank you for watching this free Medic Mind tutorial. We aim to make UKCAT revision simple, visual, but most importantly, affordable. For £20 you can unlock all 150 tutorials in our online course. You can also buy our 6 expert UKCAT guides written by a teacher who scored 900 in 3 sections. Or you can have all 150 video tutorials, each of the 6 UKCAT books and a full classroom course for just £35.
Medic Mind. Motivate, mentor, maximize.